The little mouse who wanted to roar. Once upon a time, in a peaceful meadow, there lived a tiny mouse named Milo. Milo was small, with soft gray fur and big, bright eyes. He was sweet and gentle, but there was one thing he dreamed of: roaring like Leo, the mighty lion. Leo's roar was so loud and powerful that it echoed through the hills. Milo would listen to it every evening and imagine what it would be like to roar just as fiercely. One day, Milo decided that he was going to roar like Leo. He stood tall on his little legs, took a deep breath, and puffed up his chest. "I can do this," he said, closing his eyes in determination. Then, with all his might, he opened his mouth and yelled, "Roar!" But to his surprise, all that came out was a tiny squeak. Squeak, squeak. Milo looked around, feeling embarrassed. The rabbits twitched their noses, and the birds didn't even glance up. He felt disappointed but didn't give up. The next day, Milo climbed to the top of a big rock where he could see all the animals below. "This time, I'll really do it," he thought. He took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and shouted again, "Roar!" But once more, only a soft squeak escaped his mouth. No one was impressed. The birds chirped, the deer looked curious, but nobody was afraid. Milo's heart sank. Why couldn't he roar like Leo? Feeling discouraged, Milo wandered into the forest, his tiny paws dragging. He sat down by a stream, looking up at the tall trees. "I'll never be as strong as Leo," he sighed. Just then, a wise old owl named Orin flew down and landed next to him. Orin was known for his wisdom, and the animals often came to him for advice. "Milo, my little friend," Orin said, "why do you want to roar like Leo?" Milo looked up and replied, "Because I want to be brave, like him. I want to be strong and make everyone listen to me." Orin nodded thoughtfully. "But Milo, you already have your own kind of strength. Leo may roar loudly, but your courage is in being yourself. You don't need to roar to show how brave you are. Your quiet strength is special, too." Milo thought about what Orin said. Maybe he didn't need to roar like Leo after all. He didn't have to be loud to be brave. That evening, instead of trying to roar, Milo stood on a rock and looked around at the animals. "I may not roar like Leo," he said softly, "but I have the heart of a lion." The rabbits, the deer, and the birds all stopped and looked at Milo. They smiled, and one of the rabbits said, "Milo, you are brave just as you are." From that day on, Milo didn't wish for a mighty roar. He knew that his quiet voice and kind heart made him strong, and though Leo's roar still echoed across the hills, Milo's small voice carried a special kind of courage that made everyone who heard it smile. The end. Sweet dreams, little one. You are strong and brave, just as you are.